how do you guys feel about when you read a book and then when you see the movie and the character is like completely different?
Well, I have a theory about this.
Let's say like, so this one, she was saying how in the book,
in your pocket? Just all right.
she wasn't like describing her in the book as being Asian.
Yeah.
But say in some books, when it actually like describes the character to a T, and then you go and see the movie and you're like,
yeah, they do that in Harry Potter, right? Like somebody's eye color was different in the movie, right?
I just watched this TikTok.
like, how do you
Did see
guys,
that on TikTok?
how do you
No,
guys
I
feel about
didn't.
that?
Oh, well, I mean,
I don't know. I'm not super like attached to it one way or the other. Like how they look. I feel like the way that
the voice in your head.
Yeah, like the way I'm reading it, like
as long as it's authentic. To like
you
what
kind
it
of
was.
just read it as like what she said. I think that's why I like it, like the energy of the character.
I started reading a book. He's good friends with Bob Goff. I can't remember his name, but I started reading the book and I was about 3/4 of the way, and I had like developed a voice for him, or what I thought he would sound like, you know. And then I found out he had a podcast.
Oh.
And I was so afraid of listening to the podcast because before I finished the book, because I knew that when I listened to him, like that whole persona in my head would, like the vocal persona would change, obviously, clearly, because there's no way it's exactly what I'm thinking.
Right.
So I didn't listen to his podcast till I finished the book.
Smart.
Because I was like, if I change it now, I'll lose interest in the book.
Yeah.
Because like you kind of
figure them out.
It's almost like any story, any movie, any book you watch. You kind of like grow accustomed to like the character, and that if that changes midway through, it's like so weird. You know? It's almost like this isn't the same book anymore. You know, this isn't the same person I'm talking to.
I have a couple examples of things that I've seen. I want to say my first thing, which if any of you read Percy Jackson, this is
Didn't
like
read
the first big thing.
Love the
was that the
movie.
character Annabelle in the book was blonde, brown eyes. And then in the movie, she was blonde, blue eyes. That was a big controversy then.
Is that a plot point? Like she has a different eye color?
No, but they described her in the book.
That's what she was talking about in Harry Potter.
Harry's eyes
Harry's
are
supposed to have the
blue.
same eyes as his
His
mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And
I
then they
remember that
show
in
the mom. It's like
movie.
they don't have the same color eyes,
Yeah.
and like
They
doesn't
tried
make
to
any
change the
sense.
contacts. I was watching a TikTok. We brought that up a second ago. It was a TikTok where they had him wear contacts.
Yes, they did.
For the first shot of the film, but he was allergic to the contacts. So his eyes got all swelled up. So they say if you watch the first scene of the first movie, it looks like he's like emotional or something, and it's only because he is allergic to the contacts.
so funny.
Same thing with Hermione. They had her. She was supposed to have buck teeth, so they had her wear a retainer that had buck teeth. And it was so uncomfortable for her, and also she couldn't sound like herself because it was so foreign for her speech that for the first couple of scenes, if you look, she has these big buck teeth, retainer, and then they just ended up ditching it.
So those are like character traits.
Yeah.
But like in this one, it's like when they describe a character as a certain way,
Same
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
that doesn't really change anything. There's that. And then a bigger one
Go ahead.
was in my favorite book series is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Imaginary
There's
friends.
like pretty
Have
much.
you watched a movie? Or
There's
a TV
6
series?
books now. They made a movie of the first one,
I watched the
and
first
they completely. One of the main girls, her name's Emma. She's supposed to create fire, like with
Okay.
her
Pretty simple.
hands. And then there's
Fire
another
girl.
girl character
CGI, come
who's
on.
like very, very side character, kind of in the gang. Her name's Olive, and she has to wear lead
supposed to create
shoes
olives.
because because she like flies. She'll levitate.
She doesn't have
and
control
she
over
has
it, right?
yeah, she
Heavy
has to wear
shoes.
heavy shoes. In the movie, I was so excited to go and see it. They flipped those characters. So
What?
Emma had the power of flying.
See, I think that's
and
what bothers
Olive
me.
had the power of fire, and I was
So
like,
what does it
That
matter?
changes.
It's
because
not. It's not good when it's not
Yes.
authentic to the book. Like, why would you change that?
Well,
grow to
because
love
in
the
the book,
characters,
yeah,
right?
like
in the book, Emma is like the main guy's love interest, and she like uses all these powers and like all her fire stuff
Sure.
for specific things. And then in the movie, it was just like, okay, she can.
So why
like,
do you think
levitate.
they changed it?
I don't know.
Because I saw the movie and I didn't read the book and I didn't think it was that big a
Oh,
deal.
I still like the movie.
weird.
That
Like,
just was
why?
like.
I think what you're referring to though is like what we talked about. You grow to love the characters. You know, it's like you had read the book and kind of fall in love with these characters, and there was probably a lot of like meaning to like the things they've been through with their
Yeah.
powers, right? And then you go into the movie and it's like you're kind of expecting this, And I think that I don't think there's any, like you said, there's no like necessary plot issues.
Yeah.
But I think for you, you're like, you read the book and you're expecting Emma to throw fire. And
It's
Yes.
like, why would you
And
change
she's
that?
she's the heavy shoe girl now. So
But that's so
who
boring. It
cares?
was literally so
Maybe
boring.
test audiences were like, oh, we don't like the main girl. She's too fiery. She should be more like,
Or, like,
heavy footed.
people-
Oh my god.
Like
I
it
don't
was
know.
so like
She's
the
too
firepower was so
fiery.
much cooler than
we
want
having
her
to wear
more
lead
reserved.
shoes.
Well, I think there's also different, there's different struggles with those kind of things, right? It's,
Yeah.
You know, kind of come with their own thing. And I wonder, did it interact? Well, this is a good question for you because I haven't seen the movie or the book. Did it interact? Did her firepower like interact with his thing at all? Was there ever like a
Was it a
correlation
plot
between
point,
the two?
or was it just like,
Well,
hey,
the
let's
big
flip
thing,
these characters?
the big thing is that they go through kind of like these like wormholes to
Yeah.
like different times, and the first time he ever passes through one, he's in the darkness,
and she like
hears and she lights it up,
that kind
and that's the first time they meet.
Oh,
so it's
see
like
that? I get that.
It's frustrating when it doesn't
But-
line up with the book.
But it was cohesive
Yeah.
for you for the movie.
I mean, I didn't notice it, so I wasn't like, oh, that was a special moment in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you ever get burned by a movie adaptation? You're a reader, right?
Hunger Games burned you, right? You didn't like
I haven't read like any of the like classic series. Like,
Sure.
I read
Hunger Games?
Oh, I did read those.
You know what?
I thought
Hunger
that was a good
Games-
adaptation, though. I thought
it was
movies
pretty
were
good.
cool. I mean,
I liked the book a little bit more sometimes because you can hear Katniss's like inner monologue.
That
whereas,
was
like,
what was weird
Oh.
about the movie is like the whole book is like her,
Yeah.
like reasoning with, so the whole thing is like, oh, she has to like fake that she's in love with PETA to like survive the games, right?
Yeah.
You basically see
Miss
none of
that
that
part
in
of
the
that,
movie.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, I guess they're in love now.
isn't
like,
that amazing? The difference between like on screen and between
Different
the
the
pages.
mediums.